In 1977, two robotic explorers were launched to journey farther than any human-made object had ever gone: Voyager 1 and Voyager 2. These twin spacecraft were built to study the outer planets, but their real destiny was something far greater: to leave our solar system entirely and become the first messengers of humanity in interstellar space. While Voyager 1 has long been celebrated as the farthest human-made object from Earth, Voyager 2 has always carried something Voyager 1 didn't: a working camera system. For decades, scientists debated whether to keep it operational because transmitting images from billions of miles away consumes precious power. But before parts of the spacecraft were shut down to conserve energy, Voyager 2's cameras were tasked with one last mission: to take a final image beyond the heliosphere. That image, captured in deep space, was unlike anything we had ever seen. At first glance, it appeared as nothing more than a faint blur, a few scattered points of light against the blackness. But when NASA scientists enhanced the data, something strange emerged. The photograph contained geometric patterns, shapes that didn't belong in natural starlight. The anomalies weren't random pixels. They resembled structured arcs and spirals aligned too perfectly to be dismissed as noise. It looked almost as if something enormous, an artificial structure, was lurking just beyond the edge of our solar system. For years, this image was quietly filed away, classified under unexplained artifacts. But then, just recently, new AI-driven image processing was applied to the archived data. The result shocked even the most skeptical scientists. The picture seemed to contain symbols, patterns resembling mathematical sequences repeating across the frame. What Voyager 2 had captured in its final moments of imaging wasn't just empty space. It was a message, a clue, or perhaps a warning written in the stars themselves. When researchers fed the enhanced image data into advanced decoding algorithms, the results were chilling. Instead of random static, the system identified binary sequences embedded in the light patterns. Numbers, long chains of zeros and ones hidden in the photograph. The first decoded sequence revealed prime numbers, the universal fingerprint of intelligence. No natural cosmic event arranges light into prime sequences. Someone or something had placed them there. The second sequence was even more terrifying. When converted into a visual grid, it resembled a spiral map, eerily similar to the golden ratio, the mathematical constant found in seashells, hurricanes, galaxies, and even DNA. It was as if the image was pointing to a universal signature, a pattern of life and creation itself. But the third sequence, that was the one that scared the world. When decoded, it formed a crude outline of a planet, our planet, Earth. Surrounding it were orbital paths, some marked with clear intersections. In other words, it was a diagram showing Earth in relation to other celestial bodies. The unsettling part: several of those intersections matched the known paths of near-Earth asteroids. The implication was staggering. Voyager 2's final image wasn't just random light. It was a warning. Debates erupted across the scientific community. Was this simply pareidolia, humans seeing meaning in randomness, or had Voyager 2 truly intercepted a message written into the fabric of starlight? Some suggested the image was a beacon, a way for an advanced civilization to embed communication across space without using radio. Others warned that if this was intentional, it could mean Earth had been noticed, mapped, and marked. Governments moved quickly to keep the details quiet, but fragments leaked. Whistleblowers claimed the decoded image was being studied under a project called EchoLens, designed to see if the message correlated with any incoming celestial threats. The chilling conclusion: if the interpretation was correct, the final image from Voyager 2 wasn't just a photo. It was a cosmic postcard with a dire message that Earth's time may be running out. The orbital intersections shown in the image matched predicted asteroid approaches in the 2030s and 2040s. One of them aligned eerily with the trajectory of Apophis, the massive asteroid expected to pass dangerously close to Earth in 2036. Even more unnerving was the fact that the golden spiral pattern in the image wasn't random. It lined up with radio bursts Voyager 2 had detected before its final transmissions weakened. The bursts came in rhythmic pulses, almost like a heartbeat, echoing the same ratios embedded in the image itself. This wasn't just visual data, it was multi-layered communication. The fear was undeniable. Humanity's farthest probe had sent back evidence that someone or something was out there watching, leaving a trail of warnings for us to discover. If true, it means we are not alone in the universe. But it also means we've been marked, monitored, and perhaps even tested. For now, Voyager 2 drifts silently, its power dwindling, unable to send us more. Its final image remains both a gift and a curse, a message we cannot fully understand, but one that whispers of danger and inevitability. That was the echoing through research labs, government halls, and living rooms alike. If Voyager 2's final image truly contained a message, then ignoring it could mean turning our backs on the greatest discovery in human history or the gravest warning. Some scientists argued that humanity had to respond. If someone had left a message in the light itself, then surely it was meant to be read and acknowledged. But others warned that answering a cosmic signal was reckless. If a civilization is advanced enough to bend starlight into code, one astrophysicist said, then they are advanced enough to find us. Broadcasting back could be like lighting a flare in the dark ocean. Meanwhile, independent researchers began experimenting with the binary sequences, running them through every decoding model available. The more they dug, the more unsettling it became. The spirals weren't just golden ratio patterns, they contained nested equations, recursive designs that looked like instructions or blueprints. One team claimed the numbers, when arranged in 3 dimensions, formed the outline of a structure, a lattice-like sphere that eerily resembled theoretical designs for Dyson swarms, the megastructures that could harvest the energy of an entire star. The media frenzy was unstoppable. Rumors spread that some governments were using the patterns to run predictive simulations of asteroid impacts. Others whispered that private space companies had been approached to test whether the spirals were coordinates a map, pointing to something waiting beyond Neptune. Months after the first decoding, radio telescopes in 3 different countries picked up a faint but structured burst, coming from the same region of space where Voyager 2 had taken its final image. The signal was weak, almost identical to background noise until its rhythm aligned perfectly with the prime sequences Voyager had recorded. It was as though the message had been waiting, dormant, until humanity proved it could read the first part of the puzzle.